Portable power stations are a big deal now, right? You got a lot of power built into these things, and it's just a matter of how you deliver them. So did Generac just give us another portable power station that happens to have their name on it, or did they do something different? That was what we wanted to know when we started this review. Now, first of all, there's two of these units that are available. This is the smaller one. This is the GB1000. It has 1,086 watt hours of capacity in it. The larger one's about double. It's got 2,106 watt hours built into that one. But other than that, functionally, they're very much the same. Now, one of the things that Generac does differently than some of the other integrated battery units that we've seen and used before and actually really like is they've got more output. So this will produce up to 1,600 continuous watts and 3,200 startup watts. Now, compare that to something like the Jackery 1000, which we've reviewed and really like. That one does 1,000 watts continuous, so quite a bit more in terms of output itself. Now, let's walk through all the connections that are in here for starters. So they're all up here in the front. You've got three standard 120 volt AC plugs right here. And then kind of moving down here, we've got a couple of USB-Cs, a couple of USB-As, and then we have a standard 12 volt vehicle plug here. And then these ports up here, these are parallel ports, so you can parallel a couple of these units together if you want more capacity. All that's going on up here up front. Now, there is one other thing that Generac's doing differently than anybody else that we've seen so far, and that's right up here on the top, they put a wireless charging pad. So if you've got a wirelessly charging cell phone, like an iPhone, a modern iPhone, you can slap that thing up there and it'll charge just sitting on top. Now, I will say that you do need to take the case off of your iPhone. I've got a small case on mine. I needed to remove it in order for that to work. In order to engage all this, you can see we've already got the display on. Your on-off switch is here. So to turn it off, you're just going to press and hold. You'll hear a little beep and you're off. Same thing, press and hold. You'll hear the beep and the display will come on, and now you're active. If you want your AC ports going, press this AC button, and notice on the display it's letting you know that these outlets are now active. Same thing for DC. So if you're using your 12 volt plug, now the other thing to keep in mind is on this DC side, your wireless charger is also there. So if you're going to use that, make sure you kick DC on. And then, of course, notice that we have a lot going on as far as information goes on the display itself. So let's kick our AC on. We're going to plug in our Ryobi 40 volt charger here. And notice our output has already gone up to 25 watts. It was hanging out around 2 watts when it was just running the display. So having the charger on there. And now let's go ahead and plug a battery in and get it charging. And so notice that our output here is going up. So the charger, the display, and the battery itself being charged, it's using up 191 watts. And then up here is a little timer. This is counting down the estimated time remaining if the output remains the same. So if we keep charging, we can get about 5.5 hours of charging with our internal battery here at 89%. And of course, this is showing the battery in the unit itself. Now, as far as charging goes, we have several options over here on the side. And this is where you're probably going to do most of your charging. It's regular old 120 volt AC, drawn straight from the wall. And then next to it, we have some DC charging. Now, the cool thing here is you can use this with solar panels, and Generac includes the solar connector that you're going to need for it. Here's the other cool thing. This port also works with a 12 volt car charger, and Generac includes that as well. So if you're thinking about a power supply for overlanding in particular, this thing comes out of the box better than any other one that we've seen ready for that activity. Now, you may have noticed right above the control information panel here, there's this LED light. Really handy. It's got 2 modes. There's a low and there's a high. It doesn't take up a ton of energy, just a few watts for each setting. And it's not designed to throw a bunch of light and to light up an area. It's really just lighting up the front of this. So you've got a good view of all of your controls, your on-off switches, and your outlets. And then, of course, if you're doing something like plugging in an inflator or something like that, then you're going to be able to see a few feet in front of you. But again, not designed to light up a huge area, but it is really helpful. And because it's only going with a few watts for the LED, it's not using a ton of your battery capacity. And so for instance, we used this unit when we were going through Hurricane Ian, and I was running the refrigerator off of it, and then later we were running a TV and a DVD player while we were waiting for the power to come back on. But we went ahead and left that light on at night because it let us easily see where the unit was when there's no other power on. So we like that they added that. Really cool little feature. Now, last thing we want to wrap up with this is the price. And this is where it all comes together, right? Because we're seeing some features here that we haven't seen on other portable power stations. And frankly, it seems like they've done a better job of giving us a more comprehensive unit. So how much more should we have to pay for all of those conveniences? Well, this unit, the GB1000, $999. The larger one with about double the capacity, that's the GB2000, that's going to run $1799. Now, I compared this primarily to the Jackery 1000 because that's the one we've reviewed and that we like. Well, that unit is $1,099 as its regular price. And so this is coming in less expensive. It's putting out more power, and the feature set is more well-rounded. So what we end up with here is a portable power station that's not only really well designed, it's also a really good value compared to what else is in the class. So you have any other questions about this unit, or you have some comments and feedback for us, feel free to drop those in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe, hit that bell to get notified of our new videos when they come out, and as always, thanks for watching.